Hello, salam, shalom, namaste, sat sri akal, aloha, hola, ciao, bonjour, buna, mabuhay, privyet, and dzień dobry. It's really good to be with you again, and I know you'll be so happy you've joined us because we have a very cool guest with us, and it's Monica Vallero, who is a business mentor and coach. And Monica, welcome, and please tell us more about who you are and what you do.
I would love to. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. Such an honor and a joy being here with you and with you all. Who am I? All right, let's make it short, but not too short. So I have an accent, and so I'm originally from Italy, but I moved to the US almost 15 years ago because I used to be an actress in film, TV, stand-up comedian. And then I found out that my purpose was different and I wanted to transform people's lives. I didn't just want to inspire people. I really wanted to contribute to change. And so I started doing that. It was hard, leaving my old identity or what I've done for 20 years and as a storyteller. And I realized that what I do now is exactly what I did before, but for different people, right? And so actually more depth. Now I'm a business coach and hypnotherapist. And so I help heart-centered like coaches and healers, entrepreneurs who are service-based to create and sell out their high-ticket offer organically, expand their brand and become visible, not just with marketing strategies, which are very, very important, but also with inner strategies, with the inner game, which goes hand to hand. So that's what I do today, and I love it.
Yay.
Yay.
Ah, I love it too. Thank you so much for sharing that about your own journey to being where you are. And you're so true. Storytelling, whether you're doing that on screen or in the context of, acting in whatever format you may do so. And what you do now in terms of helping people with their marketing, so much of that does come down to effective storytelling.
Yeah, it does. I mean, one of the things that I teach very well is messaging. And because I struggled a lot with messaging. I'm super honest. I don't hide behind anything. Like I really struggle when I started my coaching business. Messaging was not there. And I didn't think I needed that because I knew what I was offering. But because of
Mm,
the reason I couldn't convey what I did in a way that was appealing to my ideal clients, I couldn't make sales, right?
mm,
And so I had to work on that, just realizing that it was something that I was really good at because I
yeah,
had to urge my previous career to that, make it a little more tangible though, because when you are a
yeah,
transformational coach, a love coach, a happiness coach, a hypnotherapist, we sell the intangible,
yes,
right? And which is the most important thing. But people, it's hard to sell the intangible. People want to say, okay, I'm gonna give you a couple of grants. What's in it for me?
yeah,
Am I going to be happier? No, I'm going to watch a movie. I'm going to be happier. Obviously, we know that that's not the case. You're going to be happier for 5 minutes, right? Watching a motivational video for 5 minutes. It has to be deeper than that. That's why we need to talk about what's in it for them and in a tangible way. And
mm,
so when you also apply storytelling, it's something that not a lot of people do. They talk about, the marketing and all these rules, right? These
yeah,
strategies, these do's and don'ts. But storytelling, it's how people relate with one another,
mm,
how they see themselves into the story that you're telling.
yeah,
It's the hero story, and that's what Hollywood made a lot of money with it. And that's how an entrepreneur can leverage that as well. Not just
mm,
about talking about your own personal story, but storytelling in general. And, I
yeah,
have my framework and I teach people how to do that on a regular basis. So it doesn't only have to be you, your transformation story, which is super important. And I feel that a lot of entrepreneurs do not really share that. Perhaps they
Mm,
think that's not relevant. They don't think that's enough, right? Yeah,
mm,
but a lot of people already went through that. Why would I share it, right? But you never know how people can relate to you. Like I always make this example. There are two coaches, right? I go to the person who I relate the most with, who I know can give
mm.
me results, and the person perhaps who been through that.
Yes. You just made me think of a couple of examples
Mhm.
of coaches that I've worked with as a student myself. And I remember I was, you know, working with this particular coach in a group program. And this was actually like what do you call it? Intuitive eating
Mm,
program. We were learning about intuitive eating and how to eat with more mindfulness and learn to uh, basically learn to listen to our bodies, needs, and so forth, and all of that good stuff. And I remember our coach, she would every so often, share her own struggles with what she was teaching us. So she would be like, it's summertime. A lot of people think about the beach body, and guess what? I've been having some anxiety about it too. And she was like, and this is what I'm doing to deal with it, you
mm,
know? And I remember there was like more than one of my um, fellow students in the group who was like, thank you so much for sharing your own struggles with us, coach, because,
yeah,
it makes you more human to us. And it's like, not that we're happy you're going through the struggles, but we're glad to know you're also going through the struggles because, it shows that,
relatability,
it's,
the human side of
yes,
the
a
person.
human side of them, but also it um, make makes you feel like, oh, you know what? She's a coach and she's actually doing really well and all of that, but she can also still be struggling. And so it's okay if I am going through some struggles too, if it's not all perfect for me and all that. And so it actually not only helps you relate to her more, but um, there's a sense of realism to
Mhm.
it that you are able to see and just makes, I don't know, like for me also it was like, oh yes, yes, I can do it, I can do it. Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode. Hope you're getting value out of it. For your information, this episode has been sponsored by the Happiness 101 program. Are you a change maker, coach, trainer, or healer? Are chains of fear holding you back from making the impact and income you desire? Using a unique combination of positive psychology and the spiritual wisdom of our most effective change makers, the Happiness 101 program helps you break through your limiting beliefs and manifest the abundance and success you desire with fun and ease. Interested? Book a free Happiness 101 exploration call with me, your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Just use my online calendar link in the show notes. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, I feel that it makes you feel like it's something, as you said, that you can do. That
Yeah.
it's not, oh, that person is like unachievable because she's perfect, or, it makes you
Yeah.
feel not just that she's human, but that it makes you feel okay with how you're
Mhm.
feeling in that moment,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
something that I share very often, like even now. We always go through growing pains. I
Mhm.
shared it, I went to the gym yesterday after. almost a year. I wanted to cancel my membership. And on the phone, I couldn't, they make it difficult and whatever. And so I went there. I was like, okay, let me take a yoga class. I don't know. I should do weights, but I don't even know how to do weights. I don't know. Let me take a yoga class, whatever. Feeling guilty because it was during my working hours. I was like, okay, let me be okay with this and not look at my phone and just be present. And then my mind started wondering and criticizing the teacher, criticize, why am I here? Why am I doing this, right? And then I realized that it's human nature. I accepted my thoughts and I decided to let them go. And it was the most amazing yoga session I've ever had. I felt
Oh.
so relaxed. I almost cried because it was a lot of release, a letting go. And those are just growing pains.
Mm.
When you accept that about yourself and you accept that about others, about the things that you're doing. So I often share the things that I go through as well. And every time there's an up level, we are going
Mm.
through this. The criticism, the self-sabotage, it's all normal. And I very often share this with my clients. And at the beginning, I thought, oh, well, maybe they should see me as the authority. But I'm an authority no matter what in what I do,
Yeah.
but I can be human. Because
Yes.
through what I'm going through, I'm learning the lessons that I can share with others. Not necessarily teach, but I can share because perhaps they can relate to it and perhaps I can help them through that as well.
Yes. Yes. You just made me think about one of my other mentors, with whom I was learning about marketing and so forth. And so he was actually doing this where he was like, okay, who has some marketing material they want me to review for them?
Mhm.
And so there's this one guy who's like, here, I just created this. Um, it was like basically a very nice flyer. And he was some kind of physical fitness trainer,
Mhm.
and he had actually taken pictures of himself doing really difficult poses, and he was, I mean, looking fabulous in those pictures, very fit, wearing, clothes that were showing his physical fitness and all of that. And one of the things that my coach, he said, well, who's your target audience? Is it people who are already so fit and aspiring to, like, maybe are you aspiring to work with professional athletes or something like that? And he was like, no, I just want to work with regular people and so forth. And he was like, this is not then the right image for you to be presenting, because a regular person who's unfit and so forth,
Will
you
never relate.
yeah, will not relate. Exactly. So you could actually be turning them away by presenting yourself in this way on your marketing.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes we feel that we are not there yet. We're not the millionaire. We are not whatever that is for each one of us. But sometimes people just want someone who's like 4 or 5 steps ahead of us and teaching them those 3, 4 steps.
Yeah.
Perhaps they do not even relate with the super successful fit or whatever person or the model because I can never have a model body. Why would I? Perhaps I want the mom body that she
Yeah.
was overweight before and now she's a size M and I will not want to work with someone who's like super, perfect or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, and that comes, one of the things that I help also my clients with is to get rid of imposter syndrome.
Mm.
As a hypnotherapist, like there are a lot of techniques out there, a lot of conscious exercises that you can do, but you need to tackle it at a subconscious level
Mm.
from where it stems
Yeah.
from the childhood, from the things that happen to you, whether you remember them or not. And once you do that, that's how you can become unstoppable. That's how you can really unleash your visibility because you don't care anymore, because you know you're worth it, because you know that what you're doing is amazing, because you know that you're unique in what you're doing. In fact,
Yeah.
leveraging people's zone of geniuses is what I do best. We are all different. We are all unique. And going back to the storytelling, it's all interconnected. Visibility,
Yes.
inner work, storytelling, and zone of genius, which is the name of my company. That's how you stand out. Even if you are a regular, quote unquote, regular life coach or entrepreneur who helps X, Y, and Z, and there's a million of people like you, obviously, a million of people like me, but there's nobody like you who has your own story, who does the things the way you do it, even if you had the same certification of everybody else, even if you, doesn't matter. And so when you can communicate that online, that's when you hit your ideal client reticular activating system, a part of our brain that retains information and um, take away others, discard others. And that's when people start paying attention. And attention is today's currency, is the most valuable asset, attention. But how are
Yeah.
you going to get attention? In my case, the things that I teach, because you can get attention in a lot of ways, like the hook, the whatever, the surprise, the funny video, entertaining, sure, that can help, but it's all about what you say, the way you say it, the way you show up,
Mm.
of leadership. Anyway, this is my bread and butter. I love it so much.
Yeah, yeah. So you just made me think about the fact that when we talk about storytelling and using storytelling as our way of communicating and connecting, there's so many different aspects to storytelling. There's the what you say, but then there's also the how you say it, the emotion behind it, and so forth. Um, and so you work with your clients on all of those levels.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Because, perhaps there's some people who have clients already who work through referrals, who are very good at what
Mm,
they're doing. Maybe they're doing this for 10, 20 years.
mm,
They know that they're good at that, but they don't know what type of content they should produce. Or they tried a little bit, but they don't like social media. They don't like putting themselves out there because it feels a little narcissistic, which
mhm,
was a problem that I had because that I had to overcome, and, a limiting belief that I've had. I spent 20 years as an actress, and it was all about how you looked, how good you were, who you knew. And I wanted to get away from that toxic environment, which was amazing because the art and all that, right? But then I
yeah.
also did in Hollywood, and that's a whole different story. And so I didn't want to put myself again in a way of, oh, look at me. I don't care. I'm a mom. Like I don't need validation. But I
Mm,
had to overcome that because I'm not doing it for myself anymore.
mm,
I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for those people who need me. Now, there's a selfish part that plays a part. Absolutely. And I'm proud of that because I want to make money because it makes me feel good helping people because it fulfills my soul. So that is the selfish. But more money, more impact, more fulfillment, more joy that I can spread out. And so I help people, whether it's through my free content, my free master classes, or my paid clients, depends, right, on the level, but also to get out of that shell that is not allowing them to shine their light.
yeah.
What I've learned with blood and sweat and tears when I started this business is that it's not all about the law of attraction. It's not
Yeah.
all about the energy. Yes,
Mm,
super important, but it's not all that. You need a strategy. You need marketing. Then
yes.
I leaned into the marketing too much, too harsh, too too narrowed. I was like, oh,
Uh-huh.
energy is not important anymore. And I made sales, but I wasn't happy anymore. And then I couldn't make sales anymore. I was like, holy cow, now back to square one. What am I gonna do now? So I had like a dark night of the soul after my second baby. And I pivoted a little bit, still business coaching, but the type of people that I wanted to attract as well, in my messaging and everything. And I realized that you need both.
Yeah.
You need both to be not just happy, but to make a business work. You
Yeah.
can do the grind, but it's going to be hard, especially if you have small kids. It's going to be hard if you, even if you don't have kids, but maybe you have another job or you have other commitments. Maybe you have to watch after a parent or whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
It's hard. And I do not want to work 24/7. I want to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy life. I want to be present. Like we are here. Yes, I love what I do. This is not even working. I spent until midnight last night looking over some work because I just love it. That was my me time, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes I go to bed at 8 p.m. with my kids. And so that is the freedom of choice when you can decide what to do. And once you have these two most important things, which is the inner work, the energetics and all that, and the strategy, the messaging, and
Yes.
everything, then you can grow your brand easily.
Yes. Right. It's like, in a different context, for example, if you're looking at physical health, I work a lot with energy healing and so forth. And it's like, yes, of course, it helps. Of course, it has the capacity to heal anything that you may be struggling with. And if you don't mm, correct your behaviors in your everyday life in terms of what produced the disease or the illness in the first place, or even at a mental emotional level, if you're struggling with something, energy healing will help with that. But if you don't change the behaviors that produce the depression or the anxiety, etc., then it's going to come back,
That's right.
So you really do need to do at both levels. You have to, of course, up level your game in terms of your energy, your mindset, all that good stuff, but then also change your behaviors in the physical realm. And in the context of business, you set up the right kind of systems and, the right kind of messaging, the etc. so that, everything will
Yeah,
work together.
that's correct. Exactly. It's not
Yeah.
one thing like a secret formula. Yeah, there are many formulas, but once you are in business for years, you understand that it's simpler than people make it. You just had to do the work, but you can't do the work if you're not backed up by a strong mindset, which is not
Mhm.
conscious willingness, but the mindset that you build up through the healing, through the energy work and all that, right? And when we're talking
Yeah.
about energy work, it's not really who woo woo, it's how you change your energy through the healing, through the things that
Yeah.
you are overcoming, pretty much.
Right.
Um, yeah, that is really, really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about, um, so when you think about the marketing, uh, strategy systems that you need in place that, with the storytelling and stuff, what are some of those components that people should be aware they need to have in place?
Yeah. So I mentioned it a little bit earlier. The number one thing is to find out what makes you unique, which is something that
Mm.
I struggle with there as well, because I had so many things that I could do and I didn't want to pick. So we are not just talking about niching down, because niching down, a lot of people feel that it's constricting you, putting you in a box. It's actually expanding you because that's how you expand your brand, becoming known for that thing. But by leveraging your zone of genius, which again, it's something that the first thing that I do with my clients before the healing, before anything,
Mm.
people don't even need healing. They just need some rewiring of the mindset, you know. I don't even like talking about healing because people don't really get because it's like, oh, I'm not sick, right? It's really to understand your story. What makes you
Yeah.
unique? What can we extract from your, because we all have multiple stories.
Yes.
There's the story that originated what we do today, like why, right? Why did we start what we're doing?
Mm.
Which is we could be relevant, but not necessarily relevant to your ideal client. And
Mm.
then really leveraging that in a way that positions you as the expert. And then we talk about the messaging. Um, Now I want to clarify this. And that's what also I do a little different than a lot of people. When you take a marketing program, because I've taken a lot of those as a student, obviously, they all talk about my messaging, about
Uh,
how did you feel when you were in that situation? Sure, but there's nothing more powerful than not assuming and speaking to real people who have the real problem right now.
mm.
Because you now have a different mindset. I do not remember exactly how you felt. Yes, you remember how you felt, but the wording that you probably were using because you're a different person now,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't remember everything.
Yeah.
I also do some acting exercises with my clients, which reenacting the emotion of certain things so you can use those words. You can connect with your ideal client more. But the most important part is to really interview them and really close your mouth, like seal your lips and just listen. Ask questions, just listen and take notes. And do it over and over again. A lot of people assume they know. Oh, I already know my
Yeah.
client. Oh, I already work with a lot of clients. Okay, but I still see your messaging that it's up in the air and is not landing. Now,
Yeah.
when I think about not landing, a lot of people say, oh yeah, but you, Monica, you're not viral. I'm not talking about being viral. I don't care about being viral. Sure, more people
Yeah.
in my world. I would love to have that, but it's not my main focus right now. My main
Mhm.
focus is impact and sales, which
Right.
is the same, right? And
Yeah.
so even if you have 5 likes, two comments, one is from your sister and the other one is from a stranger, how to connect with that stranger who needs you right now? And that how you can convert that person authentically
Yeah.
without pushing, without forcing, without feeling that you're forcing, because
Mm.
the main problem of us light workers
Yeah.
is I don't like to sell. I just want to help people. Okay, how are you going to eat? Then you have to have another job that is not allowing you to put the time on this thing and better yourself and better other people. So let's get you sales. That's why I love high ticket sales, because not because you have to charge more and you have to rip people off, but because it's allowing you to make more money, to be happier, and it's allowing your clients to really have the bigger transformation.
Mm. Yes. Yes. So, yes. And what you said about, oh, you're not viral. Well, I mean, lots of things go viral and they will maybe entertain someone, but that doesn't mean that it's going to end up making them want to work with you.
That's right.
So
Exactly.
that's a whole different ball game. And it's like this whole influencer model of how you're going to do your business. I mean, that's just one model and it's not for everyone. I mean, it's not a good fit for everyone. And especially for a lot of, you're so right, Monica, the light workers, the hard-based folks, like the things that um, people need to do to become influencers, like being constantly, you know, showing up in a public way and, just constantly thinking about producing content and, again, just making themselves accessible, uh, like, oh, I have to, because otherwise, I mean, that's the way the influencer culture works, but that's not how most light workers, heart-based people want to live their lives and be, And so it's not necessarily like you should be aware that that's not the only model out there.
There are
And
ways, right?
yeah, is it the right one for you? Yeah.
Mm, that's beautiful
Mm.
that you said that because, I feel that there are some basic concepts that go in all businesses, such as finding your uniqueness and the messaging and
Mm.
things like that. And at the end of the day, you decide. I give
Yeah.
you tools, and it's up to you if you want to use these or do your own, right? There's a lot of people who want to do with, Facebook ads or paid advertisement, and that's great. But when you start out, maybe you don't have the money to invest in advertisement, and then you prefer to start with organic because maybe you have a few clients here and there or zero clients, and so you hire me, and then you can move to that. Or some people want to be content creators and healers. That's
Hmm.
great too. Maybe you
Yeah.
love being on camera. Maybe that's what you were born for. And so I never say, no, this is wrong. Or maybe, now there's a trend of a membership, right? Low ticket
Uh-huh.
membership. I'm not against that. I teach my clients that high ticket is faster because you don't need volume. But if you want to build a community and make a couple of hundreds per month, that's what you want to do that. Um, so I teach them the different types of business models as well. And
Yeah.
the simpler, but the simpler to them, you know.
Yeah.
Mm, some people have big audiences, so that makes more sense for them. Some people do not have that, and that's usually the people who come to me who are wanting to really take this to a different level, meaning really transform lives. It's harder that you're transformed by a $45, $27 membership. Yes, you can have some nuggets of wisdom here and there, some mindset shifts that will allow you to do certain things. Absolutely. But the real transformation is when there's skin in the game, right? When you are
Right.
transformed, whatever is the transformation that you're providing. Um, but I agree, there are different ways. And, as a coach, light worker, entrepreneur, you can't tell people what to do.
Yeah.
You can guide them through it. But if they think that something else is best, they're going to do that until they realize, oh, maybe what Monica or Samia you said, maybe you're going to try that. But they have to try for themselves first.
Yes.
A lot of people are like, oh, I want the shortcut. I don't want to take the long route. Well, you shouldn't be in entrepreneurship if you want a shortcut because there's none. Some people make mistakes, more mistakes, some others less. Some people it takes a year. Some people it takes 15 years. Although the people who people who are saying that they are making millions in 6 months, I want to hear the years before what they have tried, maybe in other type
Yes.
of businesses or their personal life. So it's a journey, and that's how we should take it.
Yes. Yes, I think, yes. That there's some value, like no matter what strategy you're talking about, no matter what business model you're talking about, there's always some value to it. And oftentimes it's a matter of like you really need to understand the context within which it works. And is that a good fit for you? And I think that's what a lot of times, the different, at least at the surface level marketing that you notice, that context can be missing.
Mhm.
And you have to put in the work of digging deeper yourself to see, okay, is this really a good fit for me? Because, like for example, with Facebook ads or any other kind of paid advertising, that was something that, you know, uh, I was feeling pressured to try on. And then one of my coaches was like, okay, here's how you know if you're ready for it. Because Facebook will
Convert
tell you,
first. Yes.
yes, so because Facebook will be like, oh, just $5 a day. You can start this $5 a day. But guess what? $5 a day will not really produce you any kind of results that are going to grow your business in any kind of meaningful way. And so, there is, you need to make sure you have certain things in place and you have a certain, like, kind of budget that you can invest in. And it's like, we're talking thousands of dollars,
Right.
worth of
And
investment.
or you do that, even if you had 10 grand, $10,000 to invest,
Yes.
if you're hiring a marketing agency, they can help you with that. But you
Yes.
need to see if it converts first organically.
Yes.
You need to test it organically because if you're
Hmm.
testing your offer and the messaging and with a cold audience, like that's gonna cost you not just 10 grand, it's gonna cost you a
Exactly.
lot more, and then you're gonna be looking for
Yes.
start and then you're gonna give up and then you're gonna be broke, right?
Yes.
Depends on the person. Maybe there's a millionaire who wants to do this. It doesn't matter. But testing an offer messaging, don't just an offer, just the messaging first and then the
Mm.
offer and how you feel about it, because perhaps it's
Yeah,
not something that you want to do,
exactly.
is crucial, you know.
Yes. Yes, because these big marketing agencies, like what they'll do is you'll give them something and then they will massage it and they will test it out for you too, some of them. But the thing is, the thing that comes out after all their processing, all their massaging, this and the testing, this and that, something that can be so different from what you envisioned and wanted and feel aligned with. And so they're like, oh, look, but this works. And you're like, but that's not me.
That's right. Exactly. It would not be your wording. Then, I was reading somewhere, I think yesterday, when you hire a copywriter,
Hmm.
sure, you can hire a copywriter, you can hire a VA, you can hire a social media manager, but then they're writing you the script for you to talk, to say on camera because you are the brand. But if you're not familiar with those words, if you never use those words, you're going to sound like a robot. You need to make it your own. Like people like ChatGPT and everything nowadays. Yes, I love ChatGPT. I teach how to use it in the most efficient way, but the words have to be yours and your ideal client's words. So you have to blend those two.
Yeah.
The way I speak, also because I have an accent, also because that's the way that I speak or that you speak, it has to belong to you.
Yeah.
The way you explain certain concepts. Because otherwise it's just anyone could do what you do because somebody's doing it for you. Now, doesn't
Right.
mean you can't hire a copywriter down the line or a social media manager because they know the way you speak, they know that the way you do business, they know your values, and they adapt themselves to your brand. But
Mm.
if you don't know your brand voice yet,
Yes.
then that's useless. You're spending money for something that you're like, oh, I just received this email from Samia. It doesn't sound like her. I mean, that's interesting. I'm going to click on it, but I don't know. I subscribe because I like the way she speaks. She's so soft spoken. She talks about certain things. And now this is so harsh. Why would
Yeah.
I? It's not her, as you said.
Right. Yes. Yes, and it's like so say someone else does all that for you and then gets people to click on your thing, sign up for your thing. If sooner or later they're going to be face to face with you. And then if there isn't a match like you were saying, they're going I mean, I know I've done this where I have ended up in a situation where it's like, whoa, I'm not aligning with this person that I signed up to do their program or whatever. And once I was actually face to face with them, I was just like, no, that's not. That's not going to work.
It is not it. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like not only can you feel really inauthentic and yucky as the coach who's now trying to mold herself or himself into whatever the marketing created, but it can be really disconcerting for your clients also to come face to face with a very different reality than what was presented.
Absolutely. For sure. And that happens a lot with bigger names.
Mm,
In my opinion, not a lot of them, but some of them, I know some of them, who they did validate their offer. They were so personable. They were so amazing. And then they got lost down the line because they grew so big. And then people
mm,
are doing all the things for them that they lost their
yeah,
voice. And so people are like, I'm not sure. Or they love them more. But then when they're teaching in the program, they're like, you're not the same person that I
yeah,
bought from or that I thought you were, right?
yes.
So obviously when you scale, there's always a degree of letting go the reins, letting go of some type of work, obviously. But I think that it's always important to make sure that your brand values and your voice and the things that you truly believe are in place and that you also are aligned with the work,
Mhm.
that you're embodying and you're aligned with what you're teaching still. Because
Yeah.
perhaps in 5 years, perhaps we are going to change a little bit. You know, I've been doing this for 7 years now, so I doubt it. But maybe there's something that I want to add or take
Hmm.
away, or because we're over evolving. We always evolve,
Yes.
always change. And even, the listener, if you're listening, maybe even you, maybe in a couple of years, you want to do something a little different, and that's totally
Yeah.
okay. So being aligned with what you are now without being like, oh, this is set in stone. I want to do this for the next 30 years, no matter what. Like being a little flexible and really, I wouldn't say mold yourself, but being okay with what feels right to you right now.
Yes. And being open to change is so important. You briefly referenced ChatGPT and really what ChatGPT, what we're talking about is the artificial intelligence, the AI revolution that is upon us. And I've been listening to so many experts talking about, well, well, what is this going to mean for us? How is it actually going to impact society, impact culture? And a lot of, the experts are saying, there's some things we think we can predict or see happening, but a lot of it's unknown. A lot of it's unknown because it's part of the nature of this technology, that the way it's self-learning and becoming more and more complex through its own learning and all of that. And it's like we don't know how people will adapt to interacting with it and find all the different ways in which it could be used. I mean, and so we don't know what changes we may be faced with, but they're very likely to be huge and major and very, very impactful in all of our lives. I mean, earlier changes that changed certain industries, certain technologies, and they affected a certain portion of the population. But with AI, it's likely to touch all of us. And so we have to be adaptable, so not to become anything unauthentic, but just in terms of being open to learning and growing,
Yeah.
ourselves and see where that takes us. But I really do believe that some of the fundamentals, no matter how much technology you put in place, there will be certain fundamentals that I think will always be valuable. And storytelling, our ability to tell our own stories, to connect with people, I think that is one of those fundamentals. And doing our inner work, like you talk about, Monica, it will always be one of those fundamentals that we'll always need, maybe need even more when we are faced with, all this like extra intelligence or seeming intelligence, and you're like, oh my God, I'm just a little human.
Yeah, that's true. But I want to touch on that. I 2000% agree with what you said, but that's why now more than ever it's important to lean into our authentic voice and story
Yes.
because everything can be recreated now, and who knows, next year, in a couple of years, it's going to be even more. But if you use ChatGPT, I have the pro version, and it's amazing for ideas or like, hey, how should I call this thing, right? Give me some
Yeah.
options, or help me with my content creation, whatever. But I know my ideal client.
Yeah.
AI can guess it, but I know best because I've talked to real people. So keeping the human component now more than ever has to be is important, right? I know there
Yes.
was like a strike, Hollywood strike, because the writers they were there was a strike for that because of the AI and scripts. Yes, I feel that a lot of jobs will be replaced, but that's how you adapt with it that will make you irreplaceable
Mhm.
as a coach, as an entrepreneur, as a healer,
Yeah.
as visionary that you are.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Uh,
Yeah,
yes. And so to focus on the fundamentals and learn to adapt and make yourself irrepressible. I love that. I love that. Because definitely, this podcast is all about making change and making change fun and easy. And
mhm.
so having that attitude of openness is something that makes change more fun and easy for sure.
Absolutely. And it is what it is. There's everything changes every day. Every day you're like, oh, this is not going the way I thought it was going. And we get upset because I do. Again, I'm honest. I do like, why? Okay, let me lean in and let me see, why do I have to deal with this right now? What is the lesson behind this? What do I have to
Mm,
learn? And let's have fun with it if I can have fun with it, or let me learn the lesson so next time it's gonna be even better. That's
mm.
the attitude that I'm trying to apply every day in my life.
Yes. Yes. Yes, if you have the right attitudes, it's like with the strategies, it's like if one strategy doesn't work, it's not a big deal. You just, figure out the next thing that you are going to try out and so forth. And it's not then like a big drama,
That's
you
right.
know?
It's all about how you make it mean, how you
Yeah.
react to things.
Mm,
Oh, okay, this post didn't work, Monica. What? It's not working. It's not. Okay, how many have you tested your messaging? Well, I post in one group, or I post in okay, how many times? One or three times. Okay, it's not working. Let's change it. Every group has their own, different, and a different audience, the time of the day, the way you are articulating it, the way, like, there are so many variables.
yes.
Like, okay, it didn't work. Great. Now I know that
Yeah.
didn't work. Let me change one thing. Let me change two things. Let's change strategy together. Let's change attitude. Maybe that day I showed up on camera and I wasn't my best. Or I thought that this piece of content was going viral and it tanked. And maybe I thought that I just did this piece of content just because, and it got a lot of views, a lot of engagement, and it got me 5 clients. You never know. It's all about testing, especially when you're an entrepreneur. And so how to find, I love that what you said, that this podcast is about fun and easy, because how do we find the fun in the little things that we are doing?
Yes.
Finding alignment first, and how do we have fun with it?
Yes.
Because if we are not having fun, what is the point of it all? Seriously.
Yes. I agree with you. I agree with you. I do not ever want to work again in a situation or context where where I'm having to deal with so much stress and so forth, you know? I want things fun. I want things easy. I'm like, life is too short for me to spend it stressed. I want fun and ease. You know, it's more than just that I enjoy the fun and ease. I really do believe that when you're happy, when you are in that energy of fun and ease, that is actually also your inner self and the universe telling you you're heading in the right direction for you, you know? And so beyond just enjoying those feelings, more and more, you know, I believe that is also how you can know that you are actually doing what's right for you.
Absolutely, for sure. I
Yeah.
agree that the more you do that, the more it's going to be, the more you recreate an emotion, because I believe you can, as an actress, obviously, you can recreate emotions and they
Yeah.
feel real in that moment. It's not about bypassing feelings. It's about feeling what you truly want to feel. Like, I don't feel well today. How can I feel better? You can
Yeah.
change your mood. And by doing that, changing your energy, you can attract more of the things that you want, more of the energy that you want, more of the people who are attracted to that energy. And so therefore, more things that you desire. It's science. I mean, right?
Indeed, indeed, indeed. You know, Monica, I could keep talking with you and just this topic, there's like a whole different conversation. So maybe we'll bring you back so we can keep digging in. For now, do you have any last thoughts you would like to share?
Hmm. Sure. If you are listening to this and you are finding yourself that your business not going the way you want it, not fast enough, but you know that you're meant for more. You know that things, you're close, but you're not sure exactly what to do. I would love to invite you. I'm going to take 10 people. I can't do more than that, but for a free business audit, no pitch, just me listening about your business and helping you out with the next steps, getting you unstuck on what to do in order to move the needle in your business. If you're a coach, healer, heart set entrepreneur, visionary, right? And you have an online business or you're wanting to. So follow me on Instagram, send me a DM and type audit and we can set up a time and I can do that for the people, 10 people who are listening to Make Change Fun and Easy.
Oh, thank you so much for that wonderful gift, Monica. That is really, really awesome of you. And for my last reminder, it will be, yes, please make sure you check the show notes because guess what? We will be dropping Monica's links in there so you can connect with her and take advantage of her offer and just even if you don't want the audit right now, connect with her, continue to learn with her, get the help and support that you need whenever you are ready for it. So until we connect next time, I wish you lots and lots of peace and joy.
Thank you so very much, Samia. Thank you.